Hey everybody, welcome to another session of Startup Problems 101. Today we're going to be talking about what happens when you have too many ideas. So this morning I was quite happily minding my own business when somebody reached out to me and they said, Dennis, I want to be an entrepreneur, but I've got too many ideas and I really do not know which idea to choose. How do I choose which of all these ideas I've got? And this is a super common problem. Lots of people. I mean, everybody has ideas. Everybody has daydreams. But us entrepreneurs seem to have way more ideas than most people. I mean, they're just pouring into your head, and your head sometimes seems to be like this. And it's like, wow, there is so much going on in there. How can I move on? How can I just focus on one particular idea? And I'll let you into a secret. It's a fairly well-known secret, to be honest. If you try and run with all these ideas, it is boom. Yeah, that's your car hitting a concrete crash barrier at 130 mile an hour. It's not a pretty sight. You do need to choose one idea and focus on that. All the other ideas around it provide color, they provide depth, they provide richness into your idea, but you do need to choose one and you do need to focus on that. So how do we do that? Okay, the first thing, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. Yeah, we're not in the ideas business as entrepreneurs. Yeah, ideas are for philosophers, for research scientists, for futurologists. Yeah, they're the people who need to have big ideas. Oh, politicians, we can add them into the mix as well. So we obviously want to get away from the politicians as much as we possibly can. So what we want to do is move away from ideas, which is a nice fluffy concept, but isn't going to change the world, down into getting into something very practical really quite quickly, so that we can see, have we got something here that can change the world? So I may have an idea for, let me say, come up with something really stupid. Let's say dehydrated water. How do you dehydrate water? I don't know. I don't think it's entirely possible on a physical basis. Maybe I'm not a chemist, but that's an idea. But then what I really need to do is, the first step is to take this idea and say, right, where's there a problem that this can solve? Who'd need dehydrated water? Well, actually, I came across this idea because apparently they found some hydroxyl atoms on the molecules on the moon, which is hydroxyl is OH, which is water with one less hydrogen, and these can be used to make water, which means that you don't have to take so much water to the moon. And when you're paying $5,000 per kilogram to send it into space, if you can find 10,000 kilos of water that you can easily extract on the moon, this is a brilliant thing. You save somebody a lot of money. Other than that, I can't think of many, obviously. But every idea has to have a clear problem that is a potential solution to. So you go back, you have a look at the problem and say, can I think of a problem? If you can't think of a problem, that's great. The idea is fun. Just put it on one side, move on. And so what you do is you go through your ideas and say, I got a problem for this idea. I haven't got a problem for this idea. Problem, no problem. Okay. And one of the signs that you're getting into the entrepreneurial habit is that you're quickly able to identify a problem that you're going to be solving with your idea. So you pop it on one side. If you can't be finding problems with the idea, okay, that's fine. Just keep on practicing. The more you do it, the better you get at it. As I think it was Benjamin Franklin once said that basically I try and think of 10 new things before breakfast. It was really hard when he started, but when he did it every day, it really got his mental juices flowing, made him the really super successful, uber admirable person that we all want to be. well, maybe there's a slave owner, so that's a black strike against him. But that aside, so this is the first thing that we need to do. We need to focus on getting ideas that solve problems. Okay, but that's only half the way. That's only half the distance that you need to go. The second thing that you need to do is say, okay, so all these problems, who has them? And then you start going through the list of the problems that you've got. And very quickly, you're able to say, if you can't think of anybody who's got a problem, that's okay. Go out, ask people. Who do you think would have this problem? Ask your friends, ask your mum, ask your maid and aunt, ask buddies at university, ask teachers, ask people at work. When you bump into people on the street and have a chat with them, talk to them, ask people, who do you think would have this problem? And if you come up with a resounding no, I don't think anybody at all would have this problem. Nobody, I don't know. Means you either need to put your net wider, or it means, okay, it's probably not a real problem. People don't really care about it. And it's not worth spending your time and effort and money on. So again, this is a second filter. So we started off at the top. We've had ideas. Yeah, we've got and then we've looked at ideas that have problems associated with them. Yeah, after we have ideas with problems associated with them, we go down and we find how we got ideas with problems and people who have those problems. And all of a sudden, going through this process, and it can take half an hour with a pen and paper. It can take a couple of days. It can be a continuous process that every time you come up with a new idea, you write it down, you sort of say, okay, what's the problem this solves? Who has the problem? Yeah, a practice, a method that you do each morning. You have a little bit of a commonplace book like I do, where you write them all down, and then fairly quickly you're able to start filtering out the ideas, and this gives you headspace. It gives you the space to be thinking about the ideas that have got some potential, that can work, that can be, you can then be running with. It clears out all the shitty ideas that aren't going to go anywhere or aren't going to go anywhere at the moment. And once you're there, you're in a much better place as an entrepreneur to start delving deeper. And obviously we'll go into these questions in another short break and another session in future days. But for the moment, what you then need to be doing is, okay, has the person who's got the pain, do they really care that much about this problem? Yeah, are they going to be paying you or somebody else to solve this problem? Who else is solving this problem for the moment? Can you provide a better solution for them? And these are all the things that you need to start about as an entrepreneur, as you're thinking about, okay, what do I start thinking about? Because we all know there are so many ideas. So I'm now coming to an end. I'll wrap up over the next couple of minutes. So as an entrepreneur, you have lots of ideas. That is kind of where you are, what you're meant to be, and you have loads of ideas. If you don't process these ideas, if you don't get rid of a lot of the ideas, you become overwhelmed, you make stupid decisions, you don't make any decisions, you die with analysis paralysis, or you try and do too many things and die in a different way. So what you need to do, you filter out the ideas. The first thing that you do to find an idea, the problems that the idea solves. Yeah. Secondly, you go through, you find people who have those problems. This clears out a lot of headspace, and instantly, within 30 minutes of adopting this approach, you'll be a lot clearer, a lot more focused on what you need to do and where you need to go. So if you've liked this session, please do press the the big button somewhere down here that says subscribe. I try and do these sessions about once a day, trying to answer in a brief way, in about 10 minutes or so, a problem that early stage entrepreneurs have, trying to really improve your win rate, because 90% of you are going to fail. And I don't like that. I don't want that to happen. I want to get to a space where everybody who starts a business succeeds. And I really think that we can do that over time. It's going to be a big challenge, but having the right mindset, taking the right path is going to help you do that. Spend most of my time thinking about business model innovations. So there's a lot of business models on my channel, also on my website. Have a look at those. And then also some deep dives into business model innovation. What really makes business model innovation work? How do you do it? How do you get some competitive advantage rather than getting stuck in a brutal game of my product's better than your product, or my service is better than your service, and fighting tooth and nail for every bloody customer? No, there's a better way of doing it than that, and that's by having a better business model. Most entrepreneurs don't think about the business model enough, and business model innovation is your secret weapon. So I will be back on Monday. I don't usually do much at the weekend, and it will be between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. GMT +8, which is in the middle of the night in the UK, late in the evening in the US. Thank you very much for listening. Have an awesome day. And remember, turn your ideas into problems and figure out who has those problems. Have an awesome evening.